Our regular city council meeting to order. It's Monday, September 24th, 2012, 7 p.m. If there's anyone present who may require special assistance to participate at this public meeting, please let us know and we'll try to assist you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Clark. Here. Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Councilmember Fouch.
Here.
Councilmember LaFever.
Here.
Councilmember Crum.
Here.
And Mayor Fetter.
Here.
Okay, are there any amendments or removals to tonight's agenda? I do have one. Chris has asked me to remove the chamber. They don't have any updates, so rather than to do that, we'll remove them.
Randy, I'd like to make the motion to approve tonight's agenda minus item number 10.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or comments?
Why do you want to take that off?
Basically, I think it's inappropriate to have that discussion based on the communication from our attorney.
There's a difference between discussion and or just listening to the citizens' concerns. How we as a council respond to that would be, I guess, up to us based on our attorney. But I don't know if it prohibits us, or I don't know if we don't want to listen to the citizens.
Can you guys use the mics, please?
Yes.
There goes.
User error.
Thanks.
I understand your point, Skip, in terms of open discussion. Particularly, it's difficult due to the litigation issues, and I know the attorneys are handling it. My point is that I would like to hear Nidra and the citizens' comments.
I think, Mike, they've had, ever since Angela has had her hearing, everyone has had time to ask questions and given time to ask questions. I think it's kind of ridiculous to go over it again.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda minus agenda item number 10. Councilmember LaFever.
Aye.
Councilmember Clark.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Fouch. Councilmember Crum.
Nay.
Tonight's agenda has been approved. Agenda item number 5 is approve the consent agenda. This is the approval of the minutes of the September 6, 2012 special council meeting and the September 10th, 2012 regular council meeting. Set date of Monday, October 8th, 2012 for our next regular city council meeting. Approved claims register. And building permits were approved for Todd Baber, Ardith Bosworth, and Don Hector.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to move or recommend moving the next council meeting. That is a holiday. It's Columbus Day. I wonder what everybody's calendar look like the next day, Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. What day is it?
Ninth?
That'd be the second Tuesday?
It'll be second Tuesday.
Okay, I'm clear. I'm taking down.
As far as I know.
We'll make an amendment there. If you want to redo the motion.
I'll make a motion, or you just make the motion, I second it.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
With the change to Tuesday, October 9th, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Councilmember LaFever.
Aye.
Councilmember Clark.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Fouch.
Aye.
Councilmember Crum.
Aye.
Tonight's consent agenda has been approved with the next regular city council meeting being Tuesday, October 9th. Agenda item number 6 is discuss and approve closure of the old wagon bridge down on 8th Street. This is per request of the county engineer. This is something that's been ongoing since the viaduct was built. For a lot of years we were able to use that bridge, and then it kind of deteriorated. Currently, the city is responsible for half the upkeep. If anything were to be done, and the county is responsible for half of the upkeep. The county has requested that they would like to go ahead and close that on their side, and so basically close down the whole bridge due to the fact that it's deteriorating to where there's going to need to be quite a bit of work done to it. Scott, do you want to come up? And I know that in the past it's been kind of an issue because of our city facilities down on the other side, but
they've asked us about the bridge. It's been closed basically for several years. We do have it set up with the county where we do have access, the city employees, to get across that bridge. The only reason we need to do that is the railroad has a tendency to take the 8th Street crossing out sometimes for 2 or 3 days at a time. If we had an emergency down there at our lift station, we could get a truck or something down there, then that'd be impossible to do. That's not a very high thing. We have 2 lift pumps down there and that's it. So basically normally when the crossing's out, we will just walk down in there. We go down there every day to get flow numbers and the weather and things like that. But so I really don't feel it's going to be a big detriment to the community or anything if they close that bridge permanently, or for us, or some other alternatives we're looking at to be able to access that area. So it actually hasn't been, we probably haven't went across it for the last couple of years with anything anyway, so I don't think it's going to be a problem to us. So whatever the council decides, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. So
does council have questions?
And Scott, in the last 4 years then, since it initially came up to this final review here, has there been further deterioration of it? Has it changed much?
I probably wouldn't be scared to go across with anything, but I'm not a bridge guy or an engineer, and I know Mr. Stoner's been down there looking at it several times, and this just came up here in the last couple weeks or month or so that he wanted to close off permanently. He hasn't even talked to me about it, which wouldn't do any good because I really don't know anything about it. But I think the flood did do it a lot of good, but it survived the flood, and we've been across it since the flood with a couple times. Actually went across it with an empty truck once. So, but I'm sure it's deteriorating by not having anything done to it in the last, probably 10, 15 years, really.
And are you okay with this proposed gate system and locks and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what we have now. I mean, but they're gonna make it so that we can't even get across it, so. And I don't know if they're gonna try to make it so that nobody can even, a lot of people go out on it and fish. I don't know if that they're going to stop that or not. I haven't really been informed about that or not, so. But the county doesn't want to spend any money, so if we wanted to fix it, the city's gonna have to incur all the costs, the way I understand it, so. I don't know if it's worth that or not.
Bucky, did you still want to say something?
Yes.
Bucky had asked me earlier, he's been around town for a long time, so he had a couple things about the old wagon bridge. I'm going to let him speak, that's right there. Just
Well, I just wanted to bring up a few things that the wagon bridge might be a big thing to the city of Logan. A lot of you might not remember in the late 40s or early 50s when the train come around the corner and laid over and went through under the viaduct, missing one of the pillars by inches. The next time, it might not miss it by inches and take that pillar out. And that's just one little thing. Probably what would be more concern to me is the traffic that is on that bridge. If we would happen to get a tanker on that bridge and then have a wreck and catch on fire, it will damage the concrete to where they will have to close that viaduct. And when you close that viaduct, it's quite a ways around. Within probably hours, they could get the wagon bridge going to where we could at least run the cars across it, which we did for a little time when they built the viaduct. And so there was just a few of the things I want you to, think over before they want to tear it out. And I think it's something to, and then another guy brought up an idea to me that he said down the line, if the city ever got enough money to where they could purchase maybe the little lot on the east side of the river in that field and make it into a park, and the old steel bridge that be there might be known from coast to coast, because there isn't too many of them, and they're gonna fade away eventually. And so those are some things that I'd like to have considered before they close it. Thank you.
Thanks, Bucky. And again, right now, we're not, they're not requesting we tear it out naturally due to the cost. It's pretty significant. They estimate the removal between $15,000 and $20,000, and naturally we don't have that in our budget, and I'm sure they don't put it in their budget either. So this would just be closing it, it wouldn't be actually tearing it down.
Is the water main running across?
No, we put that underneath the river a few years ago, just out of concerns in case something ever would happen to that bridge, so it didn't used to. So, so any of the,
U.S. Geological Services uses that bridge as, they monitor the water levels constantly. I see that guy down there regularly, and he uses that bridge for that purpose.
That's why we're not gonna tear it down.
Right.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
yeah, this is just looking at closing it. Basically, they'd be putting a barricade up so the cars can't cross it at any time. It would have to be a foot traffic if it was anything, so.
It'd be a different discussion to tear it down. This would just be to close it.
One thought to the rest of you is, seems like if we did have an incident happen with a train or a tanker truck on the viaduct and there was a need to, if you had trenching, yeah, maybe you're down there just filling in the trenching to reinstate the bridge in an emergency type situation. What if you just put K-rail in or something like that you could remove in a few hours or a day and, be back using it again, unlock the gate?
That's on the county side, so someone would have to ask the county about that. We're not going to do anything to our side other than just have a gate on it that's closed.
So this would be on the...
That's on the county side because they expect to close down that road, I believe, also. So.
Just it talked about the trenching, and that sounds like a more permanent. Again, I don't know how long that would take to fill in if there was a need to reopen it for emergency use.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of trenching they were looking at. I would assume it would just be something so the water would flow through if there was stuff on each side, and just deep enough that you couldn't run a four-wheeler through or a pickup or something like that through there. Tom couldn't be at the meeting tonight, and if you want to hold off to the next one, I know that they would kind of like to do this before winter. But,
What does it accomplish? What does it accomplish for the county then? Because they'd have to spend some money to get it done. Leaving it as is unacceptable because
they would actually like to close the access road on the other side also, so
that was it.
so that they don't have to maintain that, which they haven't maintained for a while, but they prefer to close that down.
That closing it down just to car or vehicle traffic or foot traffic also?
He said that therefore recommend closed all traffic, including emergency traffic, so.
I'd like to talk to Tom a little bit. If that's okay.
See if Tom can come to the next meeting and okay, agenda item number 7 is discuss and approve the police operating procedurals manual. I believe I've sent copies of this to everybody. Homer had worked on this the end of last year, I think it was, wasn't it?
Well, we haven't done it. It's, I think I started that 4 years ago.
Yeah, so we finally got one. We need to get one approved. Insurance company would like us to get that approved also. Did anybody have any questions about anything in it?
Yeah, do we get formal approval? I know we've read through it and there's been little changes in the amendments to it. Thought we kind of had.
The council has never actually approved it. The police committee at one time said yes, it looked good. I shared it with Officer Graber also. Did you see anything in there? Okay. Looks good. So we just need to make a formal motion if that's our police operating procedures manual.
The only thing I had was, I was talking to Elmer today when we rode around, that there was an article, there was a section in there about the officers could drink up to a certain point before they came on duty. And I-
What that is it's a standard, it's a nationwide standard that allows up to .04. So that, it's pretty well standard. It would be like, me going home tonight and Kyle being on duty and then something happened and I sit down to supper and take a big swallow of alcohol or a beer, which I don't drink, and then come to work and have alcohol in my breath because I got called in for, you know, something here in town. So it covers that area. Actually, I believe .04 would cover probably one beer.
All right. And then we also talked about the pit removal.
Yeah, oh, is there, it's been a while since
I
I
never seen
reviewed that.
anything in the
Pit
about that.
maneuvers,
Yeah.
pit maneuvers. If that's in there, that's something that we need to, take out. Because, one, you need to be trained. It takes at least 2 weeks of training to be able to get into the pit maneuver. Now, there are some times that you could use it, but it'd be on a case-to-case basis with how we use it. Because most of the time, the person that gets injured in them is usually us.
Okay.
We need to look at that. I mean,
Otherwise, I didn't have any problems with that. That was great.
So this is an operating manual
Yes.
for the department. It still links in or aligns with the employee handbook? is
yes,
that
because
correct?
the employee handbook, that tells us how the process we have to go through to, you know, do any type of you know, bringing any type of
Discipline?
discipline, exactly. And the SOP sets the rules.
Any second questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the police operating procedures manual.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? Councilmember LaFever.
Aye.
Councilmember Clark.
Hi.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Pouch. And Councilmember Crum.
Aye.
The police operating procedures manual has been approved. Agenda item number 8, discuss having Janon Douglas with Data Technologies come in to help us. We've got some things we need to get done. This road reach report, the annual report has to be done and turned in before December 1st. If we don't have that done, we could lose our budget. She can help with the bank statements so we can teach Marilyn and I how to do those correctly, and there's a few other things. Data Tech is actually the ones that have our software, and so that's why we feel they'd be the best to help us out with that. SWIPCO did finally send something today since this is on here, but I think the Data Tech would be a little better qualified to help us out with other questions that Maryland will have with the software when they're here.
Is it considered a bid, a required bid? You have to go through that?
You know, because it doesn't amount to that amount of money. It's with the $550 a day plus expenses, so. And I would recommend that we do this right now. Like I say, the street road use report's behind, so we can't get that money until we get this in. And I know that's pretty touchy. I don't know how to do it. And also the annual report, I know that has to be in. We could do that now while she's here and turn it in. We don't have to wait till December 1st, so we can get that sent in. And that allows us to accept our budget for next year, so.
I'll make a motion then that we approve Jaron Douglas and Data Tech to come in and help with our reports.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Discussion?
I just got a comment. I would just say that, for the business continuity of the city, we have to, not continue to look at some Band-Aid fixes here. I understand we need to do that today. But we really need to, move forward and put a solution in place to hire somebody to fill this open city clerk administrator role. We need to make a good long-term decision for the city, and this seems like, again, we're behind the 8 ball here. I know we have to do it, but I think we need to accelerate as quickly as possible, the longer term. I know that we've had some applicants. I reviewed the applicants to date, and, personally, I want to keep all of our options open and out there, including, I would not rule out reinstating Angela as an option as well, too. But we gotta get some closure to this. We gotta move on. We gotta sustain the continuity and run the city like it should be run. And we need to get going.
And yeah, right now where we're at, I just feel like, to get this done, this is what we need to do. So. Any other questions, comments? Okay, have a motion and a second to hire Data Tech. Councilmember Fever.
Aye.
Councilmember Clark.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Couch.
Aye.
Councilmember Crown.
Aye.
Okay. Agenda item number 8 has been approved, so we need some help to get those reports taken care of. Agenda item number 9 is discuss and approve the Iowa Department of Administrative Services doing an energy audit. He was in here Thursday. I happened to be in here when he came in. And Marilyn and I talked to him. They would come in and do this for free. There's no charge for them to do this. And with some aging buildings that we have, not this facility naturally, but some of our other buildings, this could be a good idea. They would help us look at ways we could save money, whether it be through light fixtures, whether it be through updates on furnaces or whatever. And if we decided we wanted to do something and wanted to borrow money cheap, we could borrow it from them. As long as we're saving at least 20%, we could borrow 1% from their department. He said he would be available to come back and discuss if you'd like to do that beforehand, before making a decision. But due to the fact that there is no cost to us, whether we do it, he can do this, and if we don't want to do anything, there's still no cost to us. It's just a service they provide, and they'd be happy to come in and do that for us. And I think we ought to go ahead and ask them to come in and do that when they have a chance to do it. So.
I make a motion to approve the Iowa Department of Administrative Services doing an energy audit.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. Any other comments? Councilmember Fever.
Aye.
Councilmember Clark.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Couch.
Aye.
And Councilmember Crum.
Aye.
Agenda item number 9 has been approved. Agenda item number 11 is update on hiring a new officer. And I don't know if you want to give the update or if you want me to give it.
We're just in the testing phase right now, so we'll work all that gets back before we can make any decision.
We are testing an applicant. Before we've hired somebody and then done the testing. This time we're doing all the testing ahead of hiring somebody to make sure that we're ready to go. So we're just waiting all those tests to be done. So anyone else have any questions or comments? Mike, I know you wanted this on the agenda.
How many total applicants do we have over?
Top of my head,
22.
22 applicants.
22 total.
And we're testing
One
one right now.
You'll know about that.
I would get, I'd have to go look at I've got an appointment at ILEA, and I believe it's October 3rd.
Any other questions?
And that's, and the one that we're looking at, we're hoping that we can get him into the short course, that's why we're going. It looks like we can.
Okay. Agenda item number 12 is update on the CDBG housing grant. We did have a meeting a couple weeks ago, I believe, and we approved bids on the first 2 houses to be done. There was also some other additional houses, some other requests, so we were able to make sure that we've got at least 10 on the list, which is our requirement. We have to do at least 10 houses overall. So the first 2, I don't know if they've actually started construction yet, but the bids were approved, and so they should be starting soon. And he was wrapping up a couple other ones for a couple other towns, and we should be back to do some more walkthroughs and get a couple more bids to go on the next couple houses here in Logan. So, Dee, did I forget anything?
No?
So right now we've got 2 that are ready to get in process, and a couple more probably in the next month or so. So.
And that's the plan, to roll them out and kind of those.
Right, yeah, they don't like to work on all of them at one time because it gets overwhelming, so this way they can finish one and then
So that's
before they
intentional.
finish one.
That-
Right.
that roll out.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Okay, agenda item number 13 is chamber representative, and I believe, Chris, you said you had nothing, correct? This month. Okay. Agenda item number 14, citizens' questions and comments. Deidre, yes.
My name is Deidre Flee. I'm the retired city clerk administrator for the city of Logan. I live at 104 South Elm in Logan, Iowa. I'm here today to ask questions, and I probably won't get any answers, but I just want to update on the reinstatement of Angela Winter as city clerk administrator for the city of Logan. The city council went into closed session twice, and the sessions lasted approximately 3 hours each. The only information the citizens received was in the minutes of the closed session meeting that said no city decisions were made at the closed session. I'm wondering when that decision will be made, and I'm sure you can't answer me that. So in the meantime, the city is falling farther and farther behind on several important reports, such as the street road use report. This needs to be approved by the city council by resolution after the report is finished. The resolution must be published in the newspaper before a report is sent into the state. This report is due September 30th, 2012. Obviously, this will be impossible to achieve in the allotted time since it is already the 24th of September, and the last newspaper in September will be published on September 26th. Since no one is working on this report, the resolution will not be printed, the report will be late. The state can withhold the street road use money allocated each month, which amounts to approximately $12,000 loss of revenue for each month it is not completed. Number 2, the outstanding debt obligation report was due on August 14th, and that needs to be done too. Number 3, you already discussed this, but the state financial report is due December 1st, and this report can't be late. If the city doesn't file the financial report before December 1st, then the city can't file a budget and can't collect any revenue. It seems to me, and to most of the citizens that are here tonight, that the smartest thing to do would be reinstate Angela Winter, since she already knows how to do these reports. This would save the city a few $1,000s. Someone with city clerk experience would have to prepare these reports, and the cost would be $550 a day, plus expenses. Since Angela Winter and Joe Lauterbach were both terminated at an illegal meeting, reinstating Angela Winter would be the smart thing to do and would save a substantial lawsuit against the city and against some of the council members. Joe Lauterbach probably would not want to work for the city again since he will be retiring in December. Thank you.
This has upset my wife tremendously. This is just plain ridiculous. You have conducted an illegal meeting. Do you agree that you've conducted an illegal meeting?
I wouldn't answer it.
Skip, you did not?
No.
3 people have to notify the city within 24 hours, and they did not do that. Did they do that? Skip?
I've answered your question for you.
Dee, did you 24 hours beforehand?
No comment.
Just answer it. We want an answer. You've upset her enough. This is ridiculous. And this is minor compared to that over there. No good sense of talking. All right? Sit here. Sit here.
I don't talk to.
You got it?
Jim Edelman, 201 North Lane. I just really, first of all, I want to commend you guys, because the resolve it takes to put up with something like this for this long, I just want to thank you for showing up. I'm really proud of the city. I just want to say that first of all. The second thing I want to say is I want to wrap my head around what I just witnessed here tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong, Skip, but you stated the reason for removing Nidra from the agenda is on the lawyer's advice. You're not going to answer that, right? Okay. Well, we all just saw you do that, so. What I can't wrap my head around is we don't want to follow a lawyer's advice when it comes to dismissing a city employee. But when it comes to silencing a citizen, all of a sudden it's valid advice. Do you have any comment on that? That's what I thought. Second of all, I just want to tell you what the perception of the people in this room is. And it may be a false perception. I don't know, because we can't get any answers, okay? But the perception is that you went into closed session on a motion to discuss the reinstatement of Angela Winther. Now, by having no motion, no discussion, no nothing, haven't you ostensibly, in closed session, made a decision not to reinstate her? You're not supposed to make decisions in closed session. It's kind of one of those rules we've been talking about. All right. Second of all, the cost of not reinstating Angela. I mean, we're talking about litigation. We're talking about $12,000 a month on road use, things that we as citizens warned you to get on top of
63 days.
63 days ago. We warned you that was coming down the track. You won't even listen to us on city business. And now your solution is to spend absorbently more money than would need to be spent. I guess my point is that type of leadership is no longer wanted here in this town. So once again, I will ask for your resignations.
Peter?
My name's Andrew Francis. I live at 111 North First Avenue. kind of want to springboard off of what's been talked about tonight about specifically the road use report, but I want to go back in time a little bit. Mike, when you were mayor, was there any city employees fired during your tenure?
Yes.
Okay. When that happened, were you as the mayor involved in those decisions and discussions, or did the city council just do that on their own?
I was involved.
Okay. During those discussions about if you were going to terminate or how you were going to terminate, were plans made to compensate for being an employee down, as far as making sure that their responsibilities were taken care of and that nothing would happen, slip through the cracks, so to say, with their responsibilities and negatively affect the city or the citizens?
Yes.
Okay, could you remember what some of those examples might be? What you might have done or did do you remember off the top of your head? It'd be something like, I don't know, making sure you had other employees take care of their responsibilities, or make sure you had somebody trained to do their job.
We had adequate backup.
Okay.
Employees were trained appropriately. They could take over the duties that were necessary.
Did you make sure all that was in place before you fired, or after you fired, or 63 days later after you fired them?
Contingencies usually were in place at the time.
At the time they were fired, okay. See, because that's usually how it works in business. You make sure you have a contingency before you pull the trigger on anything. Now, 63 days ago, I stood right over there and I warned the council that if the street road use report wasn't done by the end of September, that we would miss $12,000 per month until it was turned in. In those 63 days, there have been 5 regular city council meetings and 2 closed sessions. I guess my next question is, whose idea was it to bring in data technologies to help with fulfill these reports? Because that was the executive branch of the city government decided to do that. So not even the people that were addressed 63 days ago came up with this solution to the problem. At that July 23rd meeting, I asked if any of these 3 council members would guarantee that they would do anything to make sure the road use report was turned in on time. And Councilman Johnson, do you remember what you said to me and to answer that question? Okay, I didn't think so. That's why I have the minutes from that meeting. You stated that they, being the council, will take that into consideration because it sounds like a very high priority. So I guess I'll ask the 3 council members who were there and Denny, what did you do to make sure this road use report was done on time? This has nothing to do with litigation, so you can talk. Okay. I'll take that as we did nothing, because obviously you did nothing because the mayor and Marilyn had to come up with this solution. Now, going forward, we know that we have to turn in another report before December 1st, or else we won't be able to collect any money because we won't be able to, the budget won't be accepted. So will any council members take responsibility to make sure that that gets done on time? Mike is, I thank you, Mike, for that. Will anybody else? Okay. So that'll be worked on when she's here. Will there be any council members who decided to fire Angela and put us in this situation, making sure that everything is done on time from here on out? Okay. I guess I would just like to say that your silence is just another example of not taking care of city business at all. Neglecting city business, which is just ridiculous because that's the whole reason you're here. You say you want to help the city, and now you've cost the city $12,000 at least for 1 month, if not more, if we don't get the report in on time for another month. And then who knows if we get the other reports in. And then at $550 a day plus expenses. So we're out that money, and that's just to recoup what we're supposed to have. So I would just ask you guys to please, I guess, consider the ramifications of your actions before you make any more wise decisions and call special council meetings. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, agenda item number 15, Deputy Clerk's comments.
We've received a copy of the landfill audit, if anyone would like to see it. And the general obligation report has been submitted to the state. What day? Wednesday? Thursday. Okay, so it did go in. Mary Lynn Espin-Miller has written a grant for the pool board to the Harrison County Community Foundation for 20 new plastic resin lounge chairs for the pool. And the applicants will receive notification in early November.
I want to thank Mary Lynn for doing that. We usually do use the Harrison County Community Foundation for pool items, so I want to thank her for taking that initiative so we can replace some of the chairs that have broken over the last couple of years and make it more comfortable for everyone that uses our pools.
Can we talk to John this?
It's not on the agenda, so we can certainly talk to him. See if he wants to stay afterwards.
We had him visiting in my office this morning, so what about that?
And Danny has some information about that.
Is there a way to put old agenda items, I was talking with Aaron Logan,
Could we have you use it on?
Is there a way to have an agenda item that's kind of standing at the end of our agenda, that's kind of old business? And I don't know how we define that, but maybe we could work on that, where it doesn't take so long to have to ask a question, then 2 more weeks, and then get a response and ask a question. There could be some continuity maybe to some old business, and he recommended that as I was explaining kind of my concern about the length of time it takes. So maybe we could work with Aaron to see what that might look like. So we can keep these things moving.
A little tick list of some past business stuff, because that would have to be on there.
Right.
We can have a
Right.
List of those little items.
Right, just keep them going, keep them fresh.
Live.
Yeah.
I'll try to also call the League of Cities. They're helpful in those items, so they might have suggestions what other cities do. Just putting that out there, so.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion and a second to adjourn. Councilmember LaFever.
Aye.
Councilmember Clark.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Couch. And Councilmember Trump.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.